We should have it. What's up? We are live. We should have everything working today.
Heute.
I don't know. I have to do a test with my lips and see if you can read my lips. Am I synchronized? So I'm gonna do another. What's up? We are live. This whole live thing is kind of like I kind of just took it for granted that it's just so easy. And but
you can even see if the message reached the different platforms.
It reached YouTube, it reached Twitch, but it doesn't reach Facebook. Whatever. Oh, Stream Elements now chimed in and said, "Just chatting today. We're learning about Stoicism."
But Facebook is connected.
Silly. That's cool. The idea today is we're doing English again. So yesterday we did the German, and today we're doing the English. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. He throws his phone. And Eric throws his phone. Yeah. So anyway, so happy Friday. Peace out.
Yeah.
Thanks for chiming in.
Hope you have a great start on the weekend.
Yeah, have a great start, and we're out of here. Peace out. And you just put like the music back on.
G-da-da.
G-da-da. What is he even saying? We can't hear it now.
Couldn't figure it out still till now.
Like in English, it would be like wieder da. So like here we are again. I always hear German when like I don't understand this one. Like, here we are. Wieder da. We're back again. We're back again. Here we are. We are back again. And we had, that's what I wanted to do before we got started, but it doesn't matter. What's this platform that we're using now for podcasts? Podmatch?
Yeah, Podmatch.
It's pretty cool, huh?
With all these different people. And you even got like a little Tinder system for...
It's like Tinder.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
you can match.
It's not really.
Yeah, but it's like, dating app for guests.
Yeah, it's really a really well thought out platform as far as it would be kind of cool to talk to the founder of Podmatch. It's like a younger dude, and we got on there and like put our podcast on there, and I just put myself on there as someone that wants to have guests. So I'm the host of the show, and then I have guests on my show and I interview them. You can also be like the guy that wants to be a guest, so you can be like, I want to be interviewed and
just want to talk about myself, the stuff I've done. Or?
Well, I mean, that would be for me. It's going to be really nice to have someone else, because that's all we ever do is really I just talk and like tell you what's going on in the world of a 40-year-old man's mind, and you're like, okay, he's twice my age, and it's a cool dynamic. It's a good way of learning how to be live, and we figured, I'm hoping. I almost, now that I said that, I want to like go. I just don't trust it. I'm gonna go over to Twitch. This is it seems like such an easy thing to do, but it's actually not.
But Twitch should be live when Stream Elements.
Oh, it's working. Oh my God.
It's working.
We've been doing this for a year, and it's finally... No, we haven't really been doing OBS for a year, though.
OBS we're doing for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and even to the, like...
so
between us, like, resetting up the whole studio and then having the cable problem and then having OBS working now with the audio, and there's like a delay and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, we had to cut out the delay.
Yeah, and you can't, like, see now our chat. I think you should change the chat back to the other chat.
Like this. Pew, pew.
Yeah, because, you can't really read that either. Okay, it looks the same. Which one do you like better? Do you like that one?
I would say I like the first one better. Like,
it's blue.
This the
black one.
Yeah,
the original.
One. But the restream chat is nice because you can see
if someone writes from YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe we can change the color of the restream, and then we have the best of both worlds. Maybe we can say we want to have it black. Who knows? I mean, not now. Not now, but
probably have to change it on restream.
Maybe you can't change it, but it's not a bad idea. I was just writing with my sister. My sister works at these. Hey Lib, if you're watching this, that's actually I want to say something to watch. Check this out. Let's see if I do this like this. I switch it around. Oh, no. Hey Lib, look, I'm live right now with you on the phone. So we're sitting here. You can see myself. There's Eric over there. So we're doing a live podcast, and it's going to be recorded, obviously, so you should check it out, because I have a couple things I actually might even talk about for you. Love you. So the director that she's working with is Mark Pellington.
Mark Pellington.
He's an American film director, writer, and producer. Born March 17th, 1962, age 58 years old in Baltimore. MD. Maryland, right? Maryland. So she works in LA and she's like works at on these sets for different shows. And she showed me like a picture of like the guns and stuff, like the props. And I was like, I would just play so much if I was working at this. Yeah, like it'd be such a balance between having to actually work and then just being like, look, I've got a knife, and then have like fake blood coming out. Because she's like, we had to put fake blood all over it. And then she got a new little dog. It's a little Chihuahua thing. It's like tiny little puppy dog, and so she carries it with her everywhere, and she can like work with it in the backpack, you know, because it's so small. And with
small
her
dogs.
Yeah. So yeah, YouTube. She's like, I want to watch. Yeah. YouTube is cool. I'll send it to you. 1 second. I have to send her the link real quick. 1 second. My channel. It's like this, like this, like this. Share. Copy link. Go back. Ba-bam, 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 ba-bam. Yo. So, man. It's Friday. The week was... Do you feel like the weeks go fast?
This week flew by very fast, yeah. That was even faster than the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can't imagine why. It just
I don't know why. I don't know why either.
It just happened. The week just happened.
Yeah, it just seemed like a busy week. Maybe when you're busy, it just goes by faster. But it's kind of part of the topic. So the idea was to talk about Stoicism. That was my idea because I've kind of been learning about it lately, and I thought it'd be a nice way to spend some time online since I can learn, and if someone else watches with it, then it's cool. If not, at least I learned something.
At least I learned. And I learned something too.
Do you like to meditate?
Maybe not in the age for meditating, but I really...
Is that an old person thing to do?
I don't think so, but I mean, haven't reached the point where I say to myself, a nice half an hour of meditation would be cleaning my mind right now.
Scrubbing my mind.
Would set me back on track.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it doesn't hurt you. I know that it helps you.
Oh, it could be. This one meditation I was doing, it was from this other guy. What's his name? God, it was his Fit Mind. Fit Mind. Hey, Lib. So you're watching? She says, I should get Libby. Carmen, I should get you like fully into the whole community here, because we have a chat on Twitch, and then we have like a Discord chat, so we can kind of just write back and forth, and you can even come in and say hi if you want. So we would get that figured out. But to go back to what we were talking about about meditation, and I was thinking about the app that I was using. It's Fit Mind, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Fit Mind. And that's what I started out with like the last couple months, and the beginning of it's really pretty good because like you have to kind of get the basics down of meditation.
The breathing
basically breathing, and then every time that your mind wanders, you have to kind of try and there's certain techniques that you can use to try and catch it and come back to the breathing.
That would be the hardest part for me to.
It's hard for everybody, I think.
to not distract myself.
Yeah, it's or like if you get distracted, like catch it, because sometimes I'll do it. I'll be in a sauna and it's like kind of forces me to be in the moment because it's like you're sweating and so you're always like there, you know. But I'll go into a moment there and I'll just be completely off and like lost in thought, and then I'll be like 10 minutes later like, oh god, I wasn't even meditating the whole time, you know. So like it's not a big deal. I think it's just what it is, but it's just funny that it turns into something that you can't get mad at yourself about it either, because that just doesn't help the situation, you know.
It doesn't brings you the peace that you're searching for.
But I think what's the opposite of meditation is like chasing the rabbit, you know.
In what way?
Like Alice in Wonderland. Like you're chasing the rabbit. Like you're in a dream and you don't know how to get out, and you think that the rabbit's gonna help you get out of like going down the rabbit hole, you know. You just follow like sometimes when I think back to when I was the most stressed in my life, is when I have like an external thing that I don't know how to control, and then I try and control it, and I'm trying to do so. You just start spinning your wheels, and you get the more you do, like I come in here and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do all this work, and I do it, and then I'm like doing 500 different things at once, and I'm just not even really, I'm just doing. But I have no real, like I never just sit down like when I'm good, or when I meditate, or when I feel like I'm in a good mental state. Like I'll come in and I'll just sit down for a second, you know. It's just like that second of like, okay, what am I gonna do today? Like, what's the top two things what should that's the one thing, like what should be the number one thing I should get done today? If I just get one thing done today, what should that be?
To set preferences
to priorities to all of the multiple things you want to do. But just if it's just one thing, you know, what is that? Did I get it done? But the chasing the rabbit feeling for me, it turns into me like when I have if I make a list of things, I looked at my old list from like last week and I still got like I wrote like 500 things down, you know. So it's like, which one of those should I do? Where should I priority? And then it just bubbles over, and you just like, I do 5 minutes of there, 5 minutes of there. Then someone asks me to go down and do this and go that, and then I completely get off track of what I wanted to do. And
you want to progress, but you can't
But that's exactly how meditation is for me. Like this, the same situation in meditation is that all these things that you have going on in your mind, they come up, and when you focus on like realizing that they're there, and then just like when you think about the thought that you're having, what happens to that thought? That's something I really enjoy thinking about. It's weird. So like if you're thinking that and you're like, okay, that's the thought. Okay, so what happens to it now? I realize I had this thought. So now I'm like this observer in my mind. Remember that thing that we used to be from this really cool with the enlightened, the higher mind, and
the higher mind and the lower mind,
and the animal mind, or whatever it was called. What was he called? Yeah,
cruel mind,
crude mind or something. Yeah, it was like this animalistic, instinctual guy, and then you had like this higher mind guy. And every time that you can get back to that higher mind guy, it feels like you just observe what's happening at the moment, and it pulls you back from the thoughts and the things that are just, they're coming in constantly no matter what you do, you know.
That's
yeah.
You have to.
So it's like a way of that's you know, just being like, yeah. Does it and
das Ventil aufdrehen.
Well, yeah, but the more I think it's interesting that it doesn't feel like you don't get like an instant, how do you say it? Like you don't get the instant feeling right away, but it feels like throughout the day that practice of stepping out for a second becomes more built into everything that you do.
Mm-hmm. So you use it becomes
Becomes
along
some-
the way. It becomes more useful for.
becomes like a
For
habit,
everyday
like when
life.
you sit down in a situation where you're uncomfortable, then just to be like, oh, I realize that I'm uncomfortable, and instead of reacting, I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, this is weird for me. And then you just that alone gives you more wherewithal in the situation to sit across the table with someone that maybe you would be more defensive with, or you'd be more like kind of, I don't want to face that. So I just, and I don't even, but I don't realize it. So I just kind of, and then you ever do that? Like where you're in a situation where you're like, I didn't want to be in that situation, but you realize it afterwards that you're like, oh, I didn't like how I acted, you know? Like I didn't like.
Very, very often.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a pretty I'm not the wie heißt it, zurückhaltend. I'm not the shy person when I'm around a large group of people, so
yeah.
I often act dumb. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's fair enough. I mean, but that's an observative. You just observed that about yourself. That's pretty cool that you can say that about yourself.
Yeah, but that's for your example.
Yeah.
When you recognize afterwards, so
Yeah.
I maybe shouldn't drop my pants while I was in front of 10 to 20 people.
Oh, but and then when you pull them back up, that's when you first realize it, right? Yeah.
That second.
Yeah. Oh, what's up?
Oh, we
It's
got a
noticing that
YouTube comment.
Yeah, that's my sister. What's up? Cool. Now we can see it on. I have to go back to my chat here so I can see what she's writing.
The trick is to observe that you're thinking.
It's noticing that you're the observer. Exactly.
Der Beobachter muss man sein.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I started out doing for myself. I think it actually started about a year ago when we got into the whole pandemic thing, and I was at home with the kids for like 6 weeks because I was freaking out because I thought it was like, you know, the end of the world, whatever. And it turned out that it was the beginning of the end.
It was the beginning of the end, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that all pans out right now here in Germany. They got this whole plan set up in Germany right now for anybody listening that's interested in the German way that they're dealing with the pandemic. It's going to be right now like a plan, a 5-step plan, and we have to stay under this number, which I didn't even realize there was like a number.
Under 50.
Yeah.
So you can.
What's this? 50 indices? What is that? Incidences? So is that 50 cases of COVID per city?
How that works?
I don't care either.
I haven't looked. After 1 year, you probably should have looked into it once, but
no, man.
bro,
The number is higher than 50. It's
every day this.
Do you guys talk about that in your friend group? Yeah.
Nah, very, very, very
little.
Just that sucks because of Corona. That sucks because of Corona.
Yeah.
Or we can't do that because of you guessed it.
Corona. The Rona. Yeah. Well, I guess the number is supposed to be under 50 for like, and the stages are like, I don't know, 2 weeks at a time staying under this number. Then like each 2 week period that you stay under this number, then more things happen, more opening happens.
More opening happens.
But we're like at 100 or we're like 130 right now. So I was like, well, that's fucked. Like they should just give us at least start it with like 100. So it just means they're not going to open. It's just like it's just us. It's just a way of making us feel better about it not being open still. You know,
maybe if we reach it,
which we're not going to reach. Like I don't know, man. We'll reach it for like it's exactly what my doctor friend was saying here. We met with him. I don't know over summertime, and he's just like, so 3 months of the year you're going to be able to live normally, and the rest of the year you're not. So just get used to it. So in the summertime, like when everyone is healthy and the sun is out and everyone's out doing stuff, then yeah. And then in the
that's your time.
Yeah, so
enjoy it.
So use it. And then in the wintertime, get ready because it's coming back. Because everyone's going to get, it's like, it's just what it is. That's like his new reality. And I was like, well, that's pretty crazy that it's pretty, in a sense, it's cool. That's what doctors do, right? Like they're just straight up, they always be like, I'm sorry you have 6 months to live. You know.
Yeah, they have to be honest.
And then so they're on. So talking to them is actually kind of like, because normally like I'll lie to myself like, oh, it'll get better, dude. It's just stay positive, and it's just like you're full of shit. You know. But
yeah, he's straight.
Well, yeah. I mean, it seemed kind of when he said that, I was kind of like, okay. But I think that also, I still do think that we will eventually. Oh, it's hard to imagine that the government wants to give up this power that they have now. Like, not the government as a whole, but as the individual politicians that feel that they can all of a sudden they have like amazing amount of power, and we're not doing anything about it. Like we're like, okay.
Yeah.
No, we don't have any power. Like,
but do they have more power now? Just because they can say, don't catch COVID, don't go outside?
Well, they're basically telling us what to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much, and everyone's listening.
Isn't that how it works?
Isn't that? Well, I mean, I know as a parent, like when I tell my kids to do something and they do it, I feel like, yeah, they should do. I'm telling them that, you know. But if I ever overstep my bounds as a parent, and I'm maybe in a pissy mood, or I'm not like in a good way, and I kind of just be like, just do that now, and they'll be like, oh God, and they do it, and I'm like, oh, that was kind of too far, you know. I catch my shit. I go back and be like, I'm sorry, you know what? I'm having a tough day. Like, do what you gotta do, you know. And my son will be like, yeah, man, like relax a little bit, you know. Politicians don't do that. At least the ones that I watch. Because I just think it's not how they're I don't think they have a I guess you would put it like a lot of the ones that I watch, at least, they don't have a reason to, like, they don't have a reward system that rewards them for taking scrutiny and like self-reflection. They don't really have that built into the system. It's more like there's no feedback loop. Like, if you talk to a politician, I was talking to a friend of mine that talks to politicians more often than I ever do, you know. Like, I don't really have much contact with him, but he's a pretty cool guy. Like, I trust his thoughts, and I trust like how he is as a person, and I know he's an honest person, and I know he doesn't like overreact or anything like that. Like, he's a pretty down to earth dude, you know. And he's like a beginner he's just in like local politics. So he'll come into contact with some politicians that are like career politicians, you know.
Yeah,
that's like their job.
Even some Philip Amthor even visits the school here, so even Pasewalk gets to see some celebrity politicians. See that's just that alone. Okay, anyway, he's telling me, he's like, I'll say something to him. I'll ask him like a question, like I'll be straight up, like my son would do to me when I overstep my boundaries a little bit. He'd be like, come on, check your shit, you know. And you just be like, so what is that? And he's like, I got like literally, like, people told me I should just keep my mouth shut and stay in line because I shouldn't be asking these types of questions, you know, like that's
annoying. Like, just go with the program, just follow. And that seems really not what our whole system's about.
No, true.
You know, so that was kind of one of the things I was, as we were talking about that, I was listening, I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's going to be tricky to see how that gets, like, what politician's going to be like, okay, I'm just going to relinquish this power that I've given myself and give it back to the people and let them do whatever they want.
And didn't the people give the politician the power, or the people elected the politician, a circle of politicians who elected the person who's making the decisions?
I mean, who did you vote for?
I didn't vote.
There you go. Boom. So yeah.
So my
I
vote
can't vote. So we're both just like
my vote went to some, but someone gets it if you don't do it yourself, I think.
Every vote counts.
Like that, if you don't use your vote as an If I don't go to vote, it
Yeah.
gets some party that's very small in percentage. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I think you have to. You can Google that, but I'm pretty sure. Like I'm not. I'm pretty sure that like for you, like when you vote, it's your. We don't have the electoral college in Germany. I know that. I think it's pretty much just the popular vote. Ungenutzte, yeah, Stimme beim Wahl. Beim Wählen, ja. Einnehme. Wer bekommt Stimme? Yeah, that was the first one, yeah. Ganz oben, glaube ich. At the very top. It was like, nicht wählen, wer bekommt Stimme? That's kind of what you mean, right?
Oh, nicht will. Ach du. It's an ad.
Ah, okay. Ach so, ja. Wer nicht wählen geht, wählt die Großen.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, so what does that mean? So, auch wenn immer gesagt wird, wer nicht wähle extrem von dem Nichtwahl profitieren. You have to say it and then now to translate it in English.
The big companies get your votes if you don't.
Also auch wenn immer gesagt wird, wer nicht wähle extrem. So what does that mean? So whenever you say, like, if you don't vote, then vote extreme. The winner gets the votes. Thank you, Anna. Anna just something.
Oh, we got the shortcut right to the.
Yeah, Anna's like just our information guy. So
and the winner gets the votes.
But they already won.
Hmm.
So basically they'll say, like, there's 90 million people in Germany, 45 million of them go voting. Out of that 45 million, 25 million vote the winner, and the other 20 million vote the loser, and the winner gets the other 40, like the other 45, like whatever the difference is between 20 and 45, like another 25 million on top. So but then it would always be like a landslide, like, because what's the percentage of people that go voting in Germany? I probably like not even 50%, right?
I don't know.
Google?
That shit's so boring.
Yeah, see, that's the problem though, dude. Like,
they make it so boring. They have to put him in a big arena, and the strongest has to be the number one politician.
So The Rock should be the United States president. I would totally vote for The Rock.
Yeah, maybe.
He seems like
if he wins the fight in the Thunderdome against.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be cool if like they at least did that with like CG or something, like Angela America, and she just like had some type of crazy, like some arms, just. Come on. So what's
what were we asking?
Percentage is like Prozente Menschen, die Wahlen gehen. How do you say it? The voter turnout. Voter. Just say, you can say it in English. Voter turnout in Germany. Yeah.
Voter turnout, well-being in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Just take the first one.
So, that's pretty high. So 76%. But that's my question on Anna. So if 76% of Germans vote, what happens to the other 24%? So that's the 24% that don't go voting. So if the winner out of that 76%, like, does he get automatically like another 24% on top of that when he wins? So they just say, so it's always like a landslide. That's kind of my question, Anna, our audio is working today, right? God, I hope so. That's I don't understand all those lines.
Yeah, it's from the different, what's it in English? States of.
Yeah, states, yeah, exactly.
Bavaria, Baden-Württemberg.
So Bavaria is like the highest, yeah, and then Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is Mecklenburg West Pomerania. I thought we were Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Now we're West Pomerania. I'm sitting there. Oh yeah. That's cool. I always and on the, like the last like 5 messages we have, I always hear Lemmy in the background. I think it's so cute. He's always like talking to you, like just like, "What are you doing, Daddy?" That's cool. Lemmy's cool, man. Yeah. Kind of went off on a tangent there, but I guess it ties in with a little bit with Edward Snowden and what we were going to talk about. The thing is with philosophy and Sam Harris and all that stuff. Like Sam Harris, you can check out this first video I got up there. Yeah, let's check this out for a second. The philosophy. TED is the bomb, right? Do you ever watch TED stuff?
TED,
You've been
it's
stranded
in my recommended
thousands of miles
box,
from
but
home
I've never
with no
clicked on
money
it.
or possessions. Such a predicament would make many people despair and curse their awful fate. But for Zeno of Cyprus, it became the foundation of his life's work and legacy. The once wealthy merchant lost everything when he was shipwrecked in Athens around 300 BCE. With not much else to do, he wandered into a bookshop, became intrigued by reading about Socrates, and proceeded to seek out and study with the city's noted philosophers. As Zeno began educating his own students, he originated the philosophy known as Stoicism, whose teachings of virtue, tolerance, and self-control have inspired generations of thinkers and leaders. The name Stoicism comes from the Stoa Poikile, the decorated public colonnade where Zeno and his disciples gathered for discussion. Today, we colloquially use the word stoic to mean someone who remains calm under pressure and avoids emotional extremes. But while this captures important aspects of Stoicism, the original philosophy was more than just an attitude. The Stoics believed that everything around us operates according to a web of cause and effect, resulting in a rational structure of the universe, which they called logos. And while we may not always have control over the events affecting us, we can have control over how we approach things. Rather than imagining an ideal society, the Stoic tries to deal with the world as it is, while pursuing self-improvement through 4 cardinal virtues.
Nice.
Practical wisdom, the ability to navigate complex situations in a logical, informed, and calm manner. Temperance, the exercise of self-restraint and moderation in all aspects of life. Justice, treating others with fairness even when they have done wrong. And courage, not just in extraordinary circumstances, but facing daily challenges with clarity and integrity. As Seneca, one of the most famous Roman Stoics, wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." But while Stoicism focuses on personal improvement, it's not a self-centered philosophy. At a time when Roman laws considered slaves as property, Seneca called for their humane treatment and stressed that we all share the same fundamental humanity. Nor does Stoicism encourage passivity. The idea is that only people who have cultivated virtue and self-control in themselves can bring positive change in others. One of the most famous Stoic writers was also one of Rome's greatest emperors. Over the course of his 19-year reign, Stoicism gave Marcus Aurelius the resolve to lead the empire through 2 major wars while dealing with the loss of many of his children. Centuries later, Marcus's journals would guide and comfort Nelson Mandela through his 27-year imprisonment during his struggle for racial equality in South Africa.
27 years, huh?
And eventual victory, Mandela stressed peace and reconciliation, believing that while the injustices of the past couldn't be changed, his people could confront them in the present and seek to build a better, more just future. Stoicism was an active school of philosophy for several centuries in Greece and Rome. As a formal institution, it faded away, but its influence has continued to this day. Christian theologians such as Thomas Aquinas have admired and adopted its focus on the virtues, and there are parallels between Stoic ataraxia, or tranquility of mind, and the Buddhist concept of nirvana. One particularly influential Stoic was the philosopher Epictetus, who wrote that suffering stems not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them. This has resonated strongly with modern psychology and the self-help movement. For example, rational emotive behavioral therapy focuses on changing the self-defeating attitudes people form about their life circumstances. There's also Viktor Frankl's logotherapy.
Oh, Viktor Frankl, man.
Informed by Frankl's own time as a concentration camp prisoner, logotherapy is based on the Stoic principle that we can harness our willpower to fill our lives with meaning, even in the bleakest situations.
Can you pause it for a second? Do you know that thing about Frankl? What happened to him?
I've heard he was a
Yeah, he was a Jew in the concentration camps in Germany, and he obviously witnessed just the worst of the worst, right? And he was so focused on controlling. Super interesting topic, brother. Oh, thanks, Carmen. He was so focused on keeping his own, like, he was basically stripped naked, right? And dying of hunger, watching his fellow being murdered day by day,
working to that.
And he's still focused on like being happy and figuring out like they can't take away, like they can take all these things, but they can't take away
what's inside of him. And that was like this logotherapy, this idea that he even like he got out, he made it through it, he lived through everything. To write about it, otherwise I don't think we really know about it. But he even motivated the prison guards. Like the prison guards were they would see how this guy would help people and help the prison guards and help everyone and just be like part of the situation and say, oh, you know, we can do this and we can do that, we can do our best. And they'd just be like, they hated their job more than he hated being in concentration camp. Imagine it.
And that's what really interests me about this topic, because it's this.
On which side you turn yourself in
up
here?
Yeah, and
the dark one or the bright one.
Yeah, but there's some of this. There's a how would you say that? There's a repeating theme that I've always heard. I remember listening to, I remember talking with my dad like back when we were in LA or something like that, and we were talking to him, and there was like some guy got attacked by a shark or whatever, and then he was on TV like a year later. He was just like the happiest dude. He had like no legs. He got eaten, like half of his body got, you know, bitten off by a shark.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, well, it could be worse, you know. And we talked about it kind of like the last episode where it was like this hedonic treadmill idea. But the thing that in the English, right, the English episode, but the thing that I just am amazed at is that how the human mind can take its situation, adapt to it, and still be like good to go. It's just weird when you don't have like why do you have to get eaten in half by a shark to have that happen? Like, why can't you just do that without having to have like some crazy thing happen to you? You know, why can't you just emulate that happiness and that thankfulness that you have to be alive, that this person has to be alive because he saw his death in his, you know, that's his whole idea.
Without it
happening, you know, why can't, that's what interests me so much about this DMT that Joe Rogan always well, he doesn't always talk about it, but he's talked about it
very often.
A lot lately, not, but like in some of his old podcasts, he'll just go on this DMT thing for forever. And I looked into it, and I think that's what it is. I think that like this idea that you feel like you die and that you made a mistake. I shouldn't have taken this drug. I'm gonna leave my family, whatever. And then in like 10 minutes, you're back. I think that stays with you for like a good period of time. It, like people say that like after they've done it, I've listened to other interviews and stuff, like it takes about a year for that to wear off. Mm-hmm. So you got a whole year of like being grateful just to be alive. Like that's your expectation. You know, and like happiness is expectation minus reality, right?
Expectation minus reality.
Yeah. Or reality minus expectation, however you want to say it. But it's like the more that you expect, the harder it is to be happy, right? So and
yeah, that's the more you give a shit about something, you're more likely to enjoy it. That's what I've.
Yeah, sure.
It's the exact opposite.
Yeah, well, it is actually. That's funny the way you say that. I'm trying to connect that to what I was just saying. So like say it again. So the more that you care about something,
and the more
you can enjoy it.
The more you don't give a shit about something, the more you can enjoy it.
The more you don't give a shit about something.
Because if you're like, yeah, okay, I hate math. Tomorrow I'm going to have to learn about math the whole day. And if you're just like, geh ich halt hin, I'm going, I'm doing it, then you maybe find out that math is one of your biggest hobbies and you like to.
Yeah. Well, there's a balance there though too, because like not caring about stuff, that's the tricky thing too. Like if you don't care, then you'll never find out if that's really your thing because you never really put your full thing into it, you know?
That's a problem that I might.
That's a double standard thing. It's like, well, if you throw yourself fully into something and it sucks, well, you only know if you really gave it a real shot, right? Mm-hmm. But if you never care about anything, then you never give yourself a chance to actually care about it, to like actually think if that's really what works for you, you know? Yeah. I mean, at a young age, it's like try it out, just dive into it for like 6 months, and it's like whatever. Then it's just 6 months down the road, and you're still 20, 21 or whatever. But not like now. It's like at my age, I feel like it's almost like, I mean, I'm still young enough, but it's like, well, you kind of have to start thinking like, I should probably just leave some things alone, because the more things I do, the less that I'm going to be able to do each one individually.
You can't focus on the one thing because you.
Yeah, it's more like I have to have the discipline to say no, to things. Instead of like, because I'm like the guy that wants to do that and do that and do that, and it's like, okay, man, 25 things at the same time sucks, balls.
I'm the guy that's more like has to really push himself to do something to go to the theater, because I hate theaters. Like maybe there could be a good show that's taken place. So
yeah,
it's always this you holding yourself back.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you just don't want to, maybe, you would start to like it, but you don't want to practice to get to that point where it's starting to make fun, the thing you're doing. Like, I don't know, in skateboarding. Skateboarding is fucking cool, but you have to practice a lot to get the moves done.
Yeah, and
So,
and there always becomes a point when you're doing something like that where the very beginning is actually really fun, because you figure out, like, you get good at like the beginning stuff. You learn how to do a kickflip in like the first like 5 months. You learn it or whatever, and then it's like, well, but then to get to like the next level of where you see people on the skate, you start watching skate videos and like, okay, I'm gonna try this new trick, and it takes you like 2 years and you never figure it out, and you break your ankle and just like forget it, But that happens. There's like this. The beginning is like exciting, and then you plateau out, and then it like becomes boring, and you have to fight through that boredom, And so I find like that
to find what keeps you going.
Well, if it gets to that point and it's too boring, then you let it go. But if it gets to that point where you're like, okay, now I'm in the long game and it's still fun, then that's it for you.
Yeah.
But you have to get to that point first. You have to give it that.
You have to go through that.
You have to give it that one good shot.
I don't want to.
Yeah. It's just like super. I don't know, man. I should have. I should have just gotten, when I was younger. I should have realized that like this is my thing. I should have just gotten like a degree in philosophy or something like that. I could talk about this shit all day long.
Since if you would have been like 20 years stuck with it.
I was thinking that. I'm just thinking like these guys that like I love talking about it and listening to it and figuring it out. And it's like all these huge questions and like most people don't care about. But like if you're a philosopher, like that's your job.
Yeah, how does a philosopher make money?
Writing books.
Probably, yeah.
Being a philosopher. I mean, I don't know. Like my favorite philosopher is Sam Harris right now. He's like this. He's like that he's the Stoic of our modern day. So
Stoic.
yeah, you can check him out. The video, I think the second one you had on there was what do you got there, Sam? Let's see what he says. Oh well, yeah.
Next question. On Stoicism, you said you were disappointed in how you've handled some recent battles. What are your strategies moving forward to evolve and prepare when you suit up for the next one? Well, many questions of that sort have come in since my recent misadventures on this podcast. My conversations with Mariam Namazi and Omar Aziz have definitely caused me to recalibrate a few things. I'm going to pick my battles a little more carefully and probably anticipate the rough spots better than I have. I was surprised by how badly it went with Mariam, and probably shouldn't have been. I was and am astonished at how she's behaved since, circulating almost any terrible article about me that appears online. The most recent one, where I was called a white supremacist, is no exception. So I don't know that I could have anticipated that, but with someone like Omar Aziz, I think I could have known and would now know, based on what he wrote, that a productive conversation there was going to be impossible. And I could have cut my losses much earlier in the podcast. Many people were mystified by why I spent so much time trying to convince him that Majid and my motives for writing the book weren't mercenary. We were not engaged, as he said.
We don't know what the conversation was about. It's okay. You can pause it. Okay, so he's referring to like how to react to in a certain situation, and it's stoicism. It's like not getting triggered by someone, not taking someone's reaction to you personally. And that's also part of what meditation helps you with. It helps you from like just when someone attacks you, just kind of seeing it for like what it is, that it's probably not has anything to do with you. They're probably just having a shitty day or whatever,
So
you just like
acknowledge why.
Yeah, so you can if you were able, like if I'm able to catch that in the moment and something, then I'll just repeat back to what they say, like, but like not being upset, just be like, oh, I'm an asshole. Okay, and the other person will just be like, well, no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, oh no, that's cool, like I get it, like I get what you're trying to say.
So the other person
and then
overthinks,
and then they're like, oh wait a minute, I'm totally off the thing here right now, But instead of being like, what? No, F you, F me, F you, I'm not, and it just and you just escalate it, right? But that's kind of like I like that idea. I was never that kind of person. Like I have to really teach myself to do that. Like my instinct is to just fly off the handle and be triggered. Like I'm that type of personality. So that's what I totally noticed that out of meditation, that it helps me dealing with that personality trait,
Even to see some personality traits of yourself is a big plus for meditation, I guess.
Yeah.
So it shows you, so you're able to learn about yourself. And
I mean, you learn through other people too. Like when I see other people so if you have this idea and you see it, you think about it, so then you can see it in other people too. You're like, oh, that person's kind of got the whole Stoic thing going. And then I can watch them and be like, oh, wow, that's look how he's acting or how she's acting right now. She's acting totally cool but before I never even thought about it. You know what I mean? I was just so into my own thing that I didn't even look at other people and see how they're reacting and maybe judge it from that new perspective of like, well, what does Stoic do,
Now you have to be able to use it yourself to see it in other people.
Yeah, and then even to appreciate it in other people. And then I remember saying like, oh, you kind of got this whole Stoic thing going on, and the person would be like, yeah. Like,
yeah, I'm cool as always,
yeah, like they're ahead of the game or whatever, but it's interesting, So the app that I'm doing with Sam Harris for my meditation, it's called Waking Up. So that's the name of his podcast too, and I think it's the name of his podcast, Waking Up. Yeah, that's the app. Yeah. But Waking Up is also his channel, I think, on YouTube. The cool thing about Sam Harris is he doesn't just go into all this philosophical stuff, which, I mean, he does a lot, but he also has these conversations. So first off, he's had like great debates with Jordan Peterson. So there's like some very like hour and a half debates. I think there's 4 or 5 of them with Jordan Peterson, where Jordan Peterson takes the stance that religion is essential to our society and that we can't live without it. And Sam Harris kind of makes the point that like with what we know now, it's a little bit naive to believe that to believe in God.
Yeah.
So it's a total, but Jordan Peterson still says, though, what we need to believe in God, otherwise we believe in nothing. And Sam's like, well, this is very, very, I'm like really summarizing like these huge conversations. They go super theological, like, and moral and truth, and they battle it out. And, Jordan Peterson has a very elevated way of talking. He has a very articulate, large words. It becomes almost intimidating because he talks so. Yeah,
I have to see how it looks.
No, he's the Canadian with the voice.
He's this guy. There,
Yeah.
we've
talked about him
this
before.
article. What
With the comedian, yeah.
Yeah, with the comedian,
Yeah.
exactly.
And he just brought out his second book. His first book was like 12 rules to live by, and now the new book is like 12 more rules. But whatever. I mean, I'm still on. I still go with it. There's a lot of stuff that he says that are valid. It's just an interesting connection between those two because they have basically the same outcome, but they just get there in a different way. Mm-hmm. And I guess my way would be the Sam Harris way, because I feel like I don't need to have, like whether there's a God or not, that doesn't really matter as much.
For me myself.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there is, there is. If there's not, there's not. We don't know. So, but being a good person, I don't need to tell myself a story that I know was made up by, that's diluted by the time that it gets to these books. Like the dude, like Jesus Christ, or
the dude Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the guy, like that guy, like if I'll give it to you, there was probably that guy.
There was a Jesus Christ somewhere.
I'm sure his marketing department was great. I feel like he had a really good marketing department. Like he got his name out there. He was the first guy with a website named JesusChrist.com. You know what I mean? He was the first brand and person
to get his name out.
He was like people would be like handle at Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, this dude that's giving you some herbs and you're feeling better.
yeah, whatever. I mean, he's got but I guess what I'm trying to say is that like that guy, I'll give it to you. He was there. There was something going on there. But that doesn't need like, and if he was helping the slaves and helping people, and he had these values of helping your brother, and you shouldn't cheat on your wife, and all these values that seem to be good values that give us a guideline for what it means to be a good person. That's all seems all positive to me. So I don't really have an issue with that. I guess the thing that you hear is this dependency on it. So like if I don't have it, if I don't do these things, then I'll be punished. Like, I don't need that. Like, I don't need someone to hang something over my head. I don't need to be afraid and do things out of fear that I'm going to go to hell.
Yeah, because nobody can tell you if it's going to be or not.
No, but I mean, some people need that. So if that's what it takes for you to be a good person, then cool. Like, I don't think it's a weakness. I don't think it's a weakness to have to depend on a story that tells you about Jesus and his son and the whole ramification.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily. It's just
necessarily a bad thing, but if you believe in everything and everything that your circle is telling you, then that can be not helpful for your position as well. Like when
you got to figure out your own stuff. Like I get that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I used to feel like believing in God was a crutch. I used to look at it as a weakness in people. I used to be like, man, he can't just accept that that when you die, you die? Like, is that just too scary for you? So just
I don't. My perspective is on this. We are so educated and so smart. We are smarter than ever at this point in the evolution and stuff. But we are. It's as simple as that. We're still believing in something. No one can prove us or can't prove us.
Yeah, but it's like there's a certain thing that happens to a lot of these philosophers when they start talking about they'll stay real scientific. They'll stay scientific on a Big Bang and everything that's happening all the way until they get to a point where they don't know anymore, and then they'll slip Jesus in there and be like, it's called Jesus smuggling, you know. It's
Jesus smuggling.
They'll put him in right at the end, and he'll be like the scapegoat to solve the questions that we don't know. But scientists also, as far as we've come, as you just said, I'm 100% sure we don't have it. We don't know a lot of stuff. Like,
yeah, of course we don't know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like I think we don't know. I think we like when you say that 99% of the universe is made out of, or 97% of the universe is made out of dark matter, and we don't know what that is. So then we don't know what 97% of our universe is made out of. We just don't know. So how could you be like, well, the gravity and the speed of light, that's it? You know, that's it. If you can't, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, and E equals mc squared. That's it. You know, and that's like, no, that can't be it. You know, it's all we know. That's what we know now.
I guess there is something that can be travel faster, but
so is it,
it's not Jesus.
Well, if it's not Jesus, then who is it? You know, and if it's not, like, isn't it weird that when you talk, like when like you say, like, I'm thinking about my sister and I meditate about her, and then the next day she'll write me and be like, hey, what's up? I was just thinking about you. It's so weird.
That's weird.
But that happens a lot, though.
Yeah, that even with us that happens.
Yeah.
I wake up 5 minutes.
Well, we're pretty connected, too, because we see each other every day, so that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think that opportunity, but like,
this is how this builds up.
Yeah, but look at my sister's on the other side of the world. You know, so
and the spirits travel all over the world.
Yeah, that we're going back to this South Park episode of from Scientology of these. What were those things? They look like.
That spirits from the past. I don't know.
See, the Anna's like, but that someone is telling you to be good. I want to do things that make me think I'm good, and we're all just playing a human game. The gods are watching. Yeah. I mean, this is totally both the valid points. Like, there's,
yeah, of course, the gods.
The gods are watching.
It's a game.
Yeah, and the idea that I can just think about something and manifest it in a sense. Like, I can sit at home and think about, like, I want to build a new office and I want to build a studio and I want to do a podcast. And then, like, a year later, I'm sitting exactly where I visualized myself sitting. Like, that is, that's some pretty cool shit if you think about it.
No, shout outs to my brain, yeah? Or to
shout outs to my brain. Be like, yeah, brain. I'll pat myself on the back. No, but, or I could think about my sister and I can think about, like, what she's doing, what's going on with her. Like, and then when we talk the next time, like, that comes out. Like, not only does she feel maybe a energy and we connect, but then in the conversation it's deeper because it was like a real thing. It wasn't just, oh, she calls me and now I'm reacting.
Because
I already have like a built up. I visualize something already going on there, you know, and what is that? Like, what is that?
An imagination.
Yeah, it's like this.
It's
the frontal cortex doing its job, right? That's what we talked about. Like, we figured out, like, with humans, like, we got this new brain, and it gave us the ability to visualize things and to see things before they happen, or to know that something doesn't taste good before I even put it in my mouth. You know, and just be like the new flavor of Haagen-Dazs that comes out with the meat flavored pizza. Like, you know, it's not going to taste good. You don't need to try that. Yeah, I don't know. But so to connect that back to God and to religion and all that, like that's what's happening there too. It's a story that you're telling, you know. it's a story that you're telling, and the story has valid points. It gives you kind of like a framework for being a good person. Do you need that? Does everyone need that? No.
If you need a plan to stick to be a good person, I don't know.
Yeah, but everyone needs their own framework. Either you build it yourself, or someone gives it to you, and then you grow out of it. But what is, like, see, my kids, they get it from me, right? And my wife. But some kids don't get that, you know. Or I get it from mentors in my life, or you know, but you have to
You have to see for yourself what traits you pick for yourself.
Yeah, and we figured that out. Like, we can't really ask questions we don't know. Like, we can't ask good questions at the beginning. So we're not, like, our questions kind of suck at the beginning. You're kind of like, what's the purpose of life? You're like, okay, what's
to wiggle down the topic.
Yeah. Yeah, she says she loves me. I love you too. Yeah. Like, what's the purpose? Like, what's the reason? What are we doing? You know. Well, so these are like really big questions that seem impossible to answer. I used to think to myself as a kid, like, wait a minute. So I looked at the stars and be like, what's this thing? What's this whole, like,
that's the big
why can't I even
tarp that the government spent over our heads to
yeah, why can't I even think, why can I even ask these impossible questions to begin with? What does that bring me? You know, what does it give me? What kind of tool is that for me to succeed in, you know, what's the experiment of humans?
What we talked about, like, if you couldn't imagine things, you couldn't imagine yourself in a better position, I guess. And this thought of, I could imagine living in a mansion, and this thought pushes you to imagine other things you need before that to reach that.
Yeah, or like like I always used to believe in this. I don't really believe in it anymore. She's like, I'm here. Love you too. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, but I guess the thing that catches you there is that I used to believe in this thing, like, was like the Anziehungsprinzip. How do you say that? How do you say it in English? Law of attraction. I used to believe in that, like, hardcore. Like, law of attraction was my thing.
If something
for a long time, like the last 5-6 years, I was like, it's always the law of attraction. If you visualize it, it comes. Right? And you have to be open to it and welcome to it. Until I got into Stoicism, like the last 6-7 months, you know. I probably, like, really last 2 months, like, really into it. And then I was listening to this guy talking exactly about the law of attraction and how it sucks balls compared to Stoicism. And I'm like, well, trying to think about what was it that exactly, how he really threw this whole law of attraction into the trash bin for me was, the problem with law of attraction is you tend not to want to visualize anything negative, because the law of attraction would say that you bring the negativity onto you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, I can't think about death, or I can't think about sickness, because that only makes more sickness. So, like, the thought of the original book is actually pretty crazy. It's a stupid title. I've talked to you about it before. I think it's called The Science of Getting Rich. Yeah, but the actual text of it is it's old school, and it's pretty straight up. It's just like tells you, like any thought of sickness only makes more sickness. Mm-hmm. Any thought of wealth only makes more wealth. Mm. So there is no sickness, there's only wealth. It's like a real straight up, like,
to get that engraved in your...
There's only health. There's only love. There's no hate. Because every idea about hate that you talk about or spread out is only putting more energy in the hate thing. And I was like, I get that. Like, so I'm just going to be, like, not a hate guy, and I'm not going to be a sickness guy. I'm going to be always healthy, but I would still get sick. Mm-hmm. So when then you would start to say, well, I'm not doing it enough. I'm not being strong enough, and I'm not being healthy enough. So I'm giving in.
I'm not believing in being healthy.
I'm not believing in being healthy, no, and I'm not drinking enough water. No, but and that's where the water comes in. So that's the big hole in this law of attraction, is that it's not reality. The reality is it's good to be faced with the shit, because it makes, so the law of attraction says that you have to be grateful, and you actually almost have to pretend like the gratefulness for things that you don't have yet. So you have like the real stupid thing is like, if I want to drive a Tesla.
Oh, thanks for my Tesla. Nice.
It's exactly. You got to be thankful for the Tesla before you have it, and then it shows up. And it's like, what does that mean? Well, like literally, it showed some douchebag sitting in his car, like in his fake car, in his living room, in the seat. And you have to like drive it, and you have to feel the wind, and you have to be like, oh, it's quiet. Like you have all these details, like, oh, it's got this big screen and the Tesla logo, and and fully be like, what's Daddy doing over there? Oh, he's visualizing having his Tesla. Leave him alone.
He's in a setup.
He's in his and I have my headphones. Shh, I'm visualizing. Go away.
I'm hearing the electric motor.
Yeah. Can you hear it clicking? It clicks, right? Because I watched the video and I knew it, so I saved that, and then you're supposed to like let go of that, which it's like kind of this weird thing. It's like, okay, so you put it out there into the universe, and then you're supposed to like let it go and let the universe do its thing. So what happens is like in order to get the Tesla, let's say like we create our own reality for sure. Exactly. And so in order to get this Tesla, let's say the car that I have now is a Polo, right? So like we all know the difference between the Polo and a Tesla value-wise is quite extreme, right? So my car is probably worth like 5,000 or 6,000 euros, and I want a car that's worth like 60,000 euros. So the logical thing would be like, I need to make more money to get that. Because no one's just going to give me a Tesla. I believe that the universe works in this way that like...
That Mr. Beast hooks you up with a Tesla.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Beast calls me and be like, Remington, the universe told me also that you want a Tesla.
You want a Tesla.
Yeah. Mr. Beast is doing some cool shit in that sense.
No.
He's putting it out there, but I think that with him it's guilt. I think he has an imposter syndrome problem. And so he made so much money doing these stupid things that he feels that it's just, he doesn't deserve it. So he just gives it away, which is a great solution. I think it's actually a pretty amazing way to deal with useless money.
He helped even.
Yeah. He's with the whole burger thing.
Yeah, the burger thing, the people that after a hurricane or something, he housed.
And it's insane because what he's really doing is he's taking the money that YouTube gives him, the millions and millions of dollars in ad revenue that he gets from YouTube, and giving it back to the people, which is like not really YouTube's idea of success, right? Like Google would probably rather keep that money for themselves, right? Which I think is great, and they keep on going, and it keeps on going, and the machine is working. But to get back to the idea of this law of attraction and how it kind of doesn't work, is when it turns into this expectation that like, well, I put it out there. And you kind of want it, but you're not, in that sense, you're not grateful for it because it's something that you don't have yet. And so it's like this, how do you switch that into believing that, like, that's some strong visualization. If you can turn something that you really want into something that you already have and that you're grateful for, it sounds nice on paper, but that's really tricky to do. So, but Stoicism gives you these tools by saying, wake up, bro. Like, you want a Tesla, then you need to earn that Tesla. And when what the law of attraction would say is that it's going to come at you in different ways. You're not going to see it, but you have to be ready for it. That's a good point. So I'm going to be driving every day with my Polo, and I'm coming to work, and then someone's going to come around the corner and be like, we have this great opportunity for you to do this new job. And be like, oh, okay, I get it now. So I should probably do this job and make that money. So
to get my Tesla.
So like I put out the energy out there that like I want to make more money in some way so that I know that I can afford this Tesla. It's like a reality thing of it. So that means when people come knocking on my door for things that I can help them with, that they want and they need, that they make law of attraction, I need a new website or whatever, then I need to fill that gap for them, and then it'll help me realize my goals. And that I get that. But the reality of it is with the Stoicism is more like be being grateful for what you already have.
And it sounds more. It sounds like it's more of you're the one who's bringing the change, and in the law of attraction,
the universe.
The universe is bringing the change, and that stuff I don't believe in. Like, I don't think stuff just happens.
Yeah.
Also, or comes from alone. You have to move to get stuff.
Yeah, and you have to definitely put the energy out there, and you have to, but it's usually through doing things, right? Through doing, and the crazy thing about Stoicism that got me when I was listening to this one, like in this app, there's like this other guy that's talking about it. I have to look in a second, and he was saying that like it's kind of tricky. Oh, is there someone outside our door? Yeah, it's weird. It's okay. It's kind of tricky, but there's like a you have to visualize. It sucks to say this. What would it be like? For me, it was hard to even think it. What would it be like without my wife? I don't need to say that she's gone, like dead or whatever, but like it's kind of what you're inferring, right? What would it be like if my kids weren't there anymore? And it's like, whoa, that's heavy. And I would never used to want to think about that before with the law of attraction, because it feels like I'm bringing that on into the family. I don't want to bring that into my safe zone.
These
bad vibes. I don't want to even put it out there, you know? But the truth of it is that when I was doing this meditation, thinking about what it would be like to not be able to look in the face of my daughter when she looks up at me in the morning, and she's just like, hi, daddy, you know, and my boy and my wife, and, you know, and just having that, and even my dog, the way she like looks at us and she kind of is like, hey guys, I'm still there. I'm 13 years old. You know, what happens is I get out of the sauna or whatever, out of this meditation moment, and I come into the room where the family is just waking up. And what do you think I did? The first thing I did when I saw them, I held them like I haven't held them in a while though. Like it wasn't just a good morning. It was like, come here, you know? And I gave him a real hug. And I realized like how powerful that really is, the negative visualization
of things to drive you away from it.
Well, what it really did is it created a lot of gratitude, instantly gratitude, because I instantly felt how shitty it would be if they weren't there. And so I like as soon as I got, like I couldn't get dry enough and take my shower and get ready enough fast enough, and I knew it the first thing, and I can, even now I can think about this moment that was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago when I did that. I can think about the moment. I have it in my mind how the kids looked at me, because you just all of a sudden it's like you take that moment for a lot more for real, you know?
For real.
And I think that's what this guy that gets bitten by the shark, that sticks with you. Every morning he wakes up, he's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, they're still gone, and he's like, I'm happy to be alive. You know, and here's like a totally fit person like me. I'm totally healthy, fit. I wake up in the morning, and you know, I'm pretty good lately. But like, there's been days where you get up and like, fuck this, you know, fuck. And you're like, really, bro? With like a half body wakes up and he's got a huge smile on his face, just ready to go and check the world. I got everything I ever needed. Nothing ever happened really in a big picture. Like I got it all, and I'm sitting there with a frowny face. You know, and that kind of shit is that's what I appreciate about this negative projections. It's a new thing though. It's yeah. I mean, we all do it.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and it's totally human. But I just talking about it just makes you want to, you know, it just sets your priorities instantly straight, because you know, like if it's something that you can live without, and you say it's gone, and then you don't miss it, then it's cool.
Yeah, if you don't miss it, then
if you be like,
bother you.
what if you took that out of my life? Like, what if you took that out of my life? We took that out of my life. Take, and you're like, okay, well, what's really? It's like, okay, all these material things don't mean shit. Tesla bullshit. It doesn't matter. A to B. Like, I'm totally stoked on my car. It works. It's nice. It's white. It's clean. I cleaned it up, made it look. It kind of works. Like, I don't need it. I don't like A to B. I'm cool.
Yeah, the necessary.
Yeah.
The necessary.
And actually, like, I probably feel better driving this little cheap car than I would a Tesla. You know, like if I was driving the Tesla, I'd feel like Mr. Beast in a sense. Then I'd feel like an imposter. I'd be driving around being like, yeah, well, kinda. I mean, honestly, like I've driven nice cars before and we've had more expensive cars, and I drive it and I'm kind of like, what am I doing? Am I giving that? Am I doing that for myself, or am I doing it for people to like? Do I want to be seen in it? The car is a perfect example of that, right? Because the car is a total image thing.
Yeah.
Cars are just like the people define them, or like they think about like my personality fits to that brand. It's so weird if you think about it.
Yeah,
that's
true.
It's the same thing with the iPhone. Like I get the green iPhone, and then it has the green case and it matches with that, and that's me, you know? And it's like, really, dude? Like that's
I'm lucky with phones. I don't care if it's iPhone.
Don't give a shit. Just it's a phone.
It just the menu needs to be good. Like the interface, you have to, and it has to work.
I like that I have to look at that. Money is a big part of problem with happiness. Money is a big problem with happiness, for sure. I'll talk about that. Life is basically a dream. Some people can lucid dream. That's cool. Lucid dreaming is interesting. Lucid dreaming is tricky. And you're just happy if you don't be after more and more. Exactly. But the problem with is like when you kind of get into a little bit of money, what happens is all of a sudden you see it with people that win the lotto and stuff. Like a year later,
the Bubats.
Yeah.
The Bubats.
They're either they could be worse off, or they're just as happy as they were before they won. Like the happiness levels go right back to normal pretty quick to how they were before. Or the risk is, if you're not prepared for such a huge life change and you make bad decisions, that you're even unhappier than you were before. But the money only, I guess what you could say is money just only exemplifies this trait. So if you're someone that's always giving and giving and giving and you win a lot of money, you're probably just give more, you know. But if you're someone that's taking and taking and taking and you win a lot of money, you're probably just going to spend it all and keep taking, you know? Yeah. And it's
that's true.
It's just going to give you the opportunity to be that person that you are, or that you already are. Now the wannabe, no, I don't think so, because I think the wannabe,
if you're a good person and you want to get a better person, or you think, I want to be like the dude who's like spent half his cash to charity or something. Yeah,
but you're not going to turn into that just because you have money.
No.
No, you know what I mean?
That's true. It's true.
Like I don't think so. I don't think you would. I mean, it'd be nice to tell yourself that. Like, oh, if I win the lotto, I promise the universe, like, just let me win the lotto, and I promise you, I'll give it a lot. And the universe is like, yeah, right.
You are.
Yeah. Like, sometimes I think about that when, like, I haven't played the lotto in a while, but when I do play the lotto, I think to myself, like, okay, first off, is this rigged?
No one wins the lotto.
There
is no person that wins this shit.
And if the person that does win it, like if they do win it, maybe it's the way of the universe being like they need that or whatever, you know? Like, I remember when we were out on the beach and we left all of our toys out there with the kids one day. We just left them in a big bag, and we're like, we'll come back and pick them up on the way back, you know? We went and got some food. We go back, they were all gone. I was like, who the fuck steals kids' toys from the beach, you know?
Yeah.
Like that means it's it's an other family with other kids, and they took the toys, right? I mean,
ooh.
And so now I was thinking to myself, like, okay, well, I guess they needed it more than us, you know? And Franz was like, yeah, I guess so. Like, Jesus Christ, bro, you're going to steal a fucking plastic shovel toys, you know? Like, okay, then take it, man. Like, but I don't know.
Sandy shovels.
Yeah, and lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is tricky. I mean, the whole breathing exercises kind of bring you into a little bit of a lucid dream. But the breathing exercises tend to actually just help you with being the observer and not the follower of your own, like, of the thoughts that come in, but actually, because it forces you to just be like, because you're hyperventilating, it forces you to stay in that moment. So I think that's what, like, yoga does for people too, like, because yoga becomes like you have to breathe. all the moves are like breathe in, breathe out. Each move is like a breathe in move and a breathe out move and a breathe in move and a breathe out move. So you connect your body to the breathing, and there's no, like it takes a lot of concentration just to do that. That there's nothing else that can happen. I think that's why some people like to ride motorcycles and stuff like that, because it's like you have to be focused the whole time on what you're doing. But I digress. Yeah. I don't know how long are we going here. I'm just rambling off today.
We're going for an hour and some
20 minutes. An hour and 19 minutes. Mindfulness. Thank you.
Down there, live. Yeah,
live. An hour and 19 minutes. Yeah, well, I would say that we've got this thing Podmatch, right? And Podmatch is cool. Like, we've got this guy, John Davis, hit us up. And we're looking for an appointment. So we're finally getting some groundwork on getting some like cool people to interview. We've got this other. Oh, that's a hard name, actually. She calls herself Setvis. Oh, she's gonna be like, no, that's not how I pronounce my name. But it's okay. And then we've got another person, John Giordano. Addiction, trauma. These are cool. Like basically what I put in my thing was like kind of like philosophy, jiu-jitsu, and mindfulness and stuff like that. So we get these people that are talking about the same topics that I like to talk about. So I'll be interested in the interview.
It's easier to connect to them.
Yeah. So we've got 4 people right now that are on the list to get interviews. So we should be by next week having some of these people on the show. So that'll be kind of fun to interview people and have them. And these are people that are used to being on podcasts and talking. So it's not going to, I don't feel like I have to be like pulling stuff out of them, which happens when you have people on the show that don't really know the format. Since we've been doing it for a year, it's kind of like you feel it. Like you're like when you're on the show, you got to flow and you figure it out. And so I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I'm staying on it. It's a really cool. Podmatch is a really cool system that allows you to set up times, and since we're all in different time zones, like the appointments that you set actually reflect the different time zones, so it makes it easier. That was the trickiest thing.
I didn't even acknowledge that.
Yeah, like it'll be like confirm proposed date and time, and then it'll be like be local to my time and local to their time, and we'll find like that time window that fits. So that's.
Ich habe immer bloß I've always looked after if they're located in the United States or
and you don't really have to here, because the people they have their windows already locked in. So like, and I lock in my windows, and then it only matches those people that have the same windows. So that's gonna chill out. So yeah, I mean, that's what's up. Friday, I think we're gonna take off for today. Thanks for showing up, Sister and Anna, and saying hi. That was very cool. Mindfulness is a constant thing that we should all work on. It's all good.
And to exercise the mind.
If anybody's in on that.
Get the brain muscles stronger.
Waking Up is the app from Sam Harris I'm totally into. I also do the old Wim Hof breathing app. Those 2 things in the morning set me up. Oh, and the other app is the Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, Jiu-Jitsu yoga guy. It's so weird how like these days now it's like all the apps on your, like those 3 apps on the phone, that's like it's app this, app that, and app that, and then I do with the app, but whatever. I also have this one called Brainwaves, and like you go in there, check this out, and you can be like, I don't know how it sounds on the thing. Can you hear that?
It's a subtle. Now it's coming. It's a constant.
Yeah, it's like this one's improved mood, 110 hertz. Activate the positivity and empathy. There's like a whole bunch of different sessions, so you can go on there and be like, there's even. Oh, I should turn. Is it still on? Oh.
I guess so. Yeah.
Sorry. Ooh. Oh, it reminds me of this from Finding Nemo. Did you ever watch the second Finding Nemo with the white porpoise, or what are they called? They had the big old brains, these big white whales. What are they called? Beluga whales, right?
Oh, with
And they have a big old and in the movie he could like use his echolocation, and when he did, he's like, ooh.
Well, I can't remember. I watched Nemo, but
Well, I'm sure you weren't. You had other things happening as you're watching it. But it's a pretty cool app too. Brainwaves. These are all just things that I like. There's music for concentration and manifestation, and it's literally like 30 minutes of like a tone, and it's a isochronic tone or the binaural beats, and they're literally like. Ooh. And it has like a frequency on purpose.
that's a bit better than the first one.
Yeah. It's manifestation. Manifest a nice weekend, everybody. And if you have to go pee-pee, then time to go pee-pee.
Time to go pee-pee.
Yeah. So peace out. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Straight up.
Have a nice weekend.
Give us a little outro music today, buddy.
Auf jeden.
All right, here we go.
Hier läuft unser Outro. Hier verabschieden wir uns.
All right.
In English, not in
English.
German.
We say goodbye in English.
Bye.